The Chicago Bulls lose their season series against the Pelicans, the team with one of the worst records in the NBA. This is on top of them losing multiple games to the Wizards. This Bulls team, man, and y'all try to convince me that this team can be the fifth seed? We're going to talk about all and more. But first, we got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And the Bulls suck. I don't know if anybody still had that question or not about the Chicago Bulls. I'm not sure. But if anybody did, yes, I need everybody to realize that the Chicago Bulls have now lost multiple games to the Wizards and to the Pelicans in the same season. That's what's happened. And this is the same team that some Bulls fans have tried to tell me, Haize, you tripping. Haize, this team can be the fifth seed. Haize, this team can do this. This team can do that. Why do you doubt this team, Haize? Because guess what? The Chicago Bulls are 1.5 games out of XYZ, this, that, and the third. Guess what? I don't give a shit. This team's trash. This team is ultimate butt cheeks. This team looks, as a matter of fact, butt cheeks look at the Chicago Bulls and they say, damn, you worse than me. And listen, the execution by this team down the stretch of this game was ugly. It was disgusting. The Bulls in the fourth quarter of this game, keep in mind a fourth quarter that was still much in their ability to win it. They shot 35% from the field and 18% from the 3-point line. Whereas the Pelicans on the other side of that in the fourth quarter shoot 54% from the field. Still bad from the 3-point line overall. This team's trash, y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all. Listen, I love Bulls fans. I love y'all. We family. We right here. We locked in. But if this team is going to execute like this down the stretch of close games against teams with single-digit win records, it's going to be ugly. It's going to continue to be ugly. Zion Williamson had 21 points, 9 rebounds in this game. 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Almost a triple-double from him. Trey Murphy III had 32 points in this game to Trey Murphy III. 32 points, I repeat again, and 19 of those coming in the second half by Trey Murphy III. DeJounte Murray with 15 points. Yves Missi didn't score a lot. Didn't get a lot of rebounds, but if you look at the defense that Yves Missi played today, you'll see, hey, this is why when people say, hey, the Bulls can go far with a defensive center, listen, Yves Missi, and this is why when people are like, well, why do you want to tank to get good picks? Why do you want to hold on to your pick? Yves Missi was a late pick in a weak draft, and look at what he did to the Chicago Bulls today defensively. Defensively, right? Like I said, now, he didn't do a lot offensively. He really didn't do anything offensively if we're keeping it a buck. But look at what he did defensively to the Chicago Bulls. Just look at that. Ugly, disgusting, piss poor, bullshit. That's what this game was today for the Chicago Bulls. The numbers look decent. Patrick Williams actually had a dunk today. Wow. A two-handed dunk. Patrick Williams was so surprised that he was able to get a dunk. He looked at his hands after the dunk. Looked at him after the dunk. And y'all wonder why I've been killing this kid lately. 8 points for Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams put up a Tony Snell plus stat line. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 turnover, 8 points. The 8 points are the only thing saving him from being just a regular Tony Snell stat line. Nikola Vucevic did wake up, 22 points, 15 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block from Nikola Vucevic. Love seeing that from Vuce. He was an efficient 10 for 16 from the field. Kobe White, 22 points on 8 of 17 from the field. Okay enough. 3 rebounds, 4 assists from Kobe White. 25 points for Zach LaVine. Thank God Zach LaVine woke up in the second half of this game, because if he did not, all of Zach LaVine's points, except 2 of them, came in the second half of this game, and a lot of them came in the third quarter. Zach LaVine came alive in the third quarter of this game. If Zach LaVine didn't come alive for 13 points in the third quarter of this game could have been a double-digit blowout. That's what could have happened to the Chicago Bulls against the Pelicans today. If Zach LaVine didn't have the quarter that he had. 7 points from Josh Giddey. He falls 3 points short of a triple-double. I had the Vegemite ready to go. It was ready. It's right cheer. Didn't get to open it. 7 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers from Josh Giddey. Overall, a plus-minus of -8. 13 points from Jalen Smith. 11 points from Lonzo Ball coming in this game. And the Bulls just, man, this team, and you know what, today, what was the title of today's episode? I know it had frustrating in it. I can't even remember because I'm frustrated now. The Bulls are a frustrating mess. That was the title of today's episode. You see why I titled it that? The Bulls are a frustrating mess. This is disgusting. This was ugly. This was piss poor. We deserve better than this as Bulls fans, is all I can say. The Bulls once allowing over 50 points in the paint. They had 39 fast break points, star 29. I'm sorry, bench points. That was bench points. They had 14 fast break points. They had 25 second chance points in this game as well. And they had 28 points off turnovers because the Chicago Bulls turned the ball over 15 times. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the jury, Chicago Bulls fans under the sound of my voice and everywhere across the country and in the world, our team is trash. I need everybody to understand that. I need everybody to realize that. I need everybody to embrace that. This team is god-awful, bad shit ass trash. Guano. That's what this team is. It's bad, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's a bad team. And unfortunately, this Chicago Bulls team, like I said, they're always going to do something that you look at it and it gives you faith, but then immediately they're going to rip it back out of you. That just is what they do. This is such an wildly inconsistent team. It's really hard to believe anything this team does because of how wildly inconsistent their performances is, how wildly inconsistent the coaching is, how wildly inconsistent we have, or just when you just look at the roster with all the injuries up and down it. The Bulls' inability to make shots is terrible. The Bulls' inability to stop anything on defense is terrible. The Bulls' inability to even look like an NBA team sometimes is terrible. And that's what it continues to be. This was supposed to be the beginning of the Bulls' easy stretch. And this is how it starts off. And yeah, the Chicago Bulls are probably still going to win a couple of games over this stretch. But you lost against the Pelicans, yo. The Pelicans. You lost against the Pelicans. That's what the state your team is in right now. The Pelicans. You got 2 losses on the season to the Warriors, 2 losses on the seasons to the Pelicans. Did we lose a game against Charlotte too, or did we win that game against Charlotte? I think we won that game against Charlotte. You got to stay. You cannot be a team that wants to do anything and play so wildly up and down to your competition. You just can't do it and actually be a winning basketball team. And that's what this thing is shaping up to be for the Chicago Bulls yet a freaking again. a team that is so wildly inconsistent in the way that they perform, and then people try to say you cannot listen. I saw the comment. I don't know if I'm going to find it. Somebody left the comment that said the Bulls can't trade Lonzo Ball. He's the only reason. If he's the only reason you're doing something on a losing team, guess what? He's tradable. That actually means more reason why you should trade him to get the value back, because then he can help a team that's actually worth a damn. There is nobody and no reason. I don't care who you are, who the player is, how you look at it. If you look at this team and think, oh my God, we can't trade this player because they're the only reason we do X, Y, Z. If you follow that up, if your defense of not moving on from a player is they're the only reason why, that automatically shut the hell up. That's why you should move them. That's why they should be moved. If they are the only reason why you're doing something and you have a losing record, that's why you should trade them. It'd be different if we had a winning record, because that means that they're in such a place that they are elevating a team that is bad to that should be losing to winning. But if you try to have the conversation that, oh my God, we can't move this player because they're the only reason, look at the win-loss column. If there's more losses than wins, that doesn't mean that player can't be moved. It just doesn't. That goes for Zach. That goes for Vooch. That goes for Lonzo. That goes for Jesus Levante Christ. If you are the only reason why your team is doing anything and you follow that up with something positive and there's more losses than wins, stop your conversation right there. You're lost in the sauce, my boy. We knew that this team was going to be bad coming in. At least most of us knew that came to the realization early on that this was not going to be a good basketball team. But so many Chicago Bulls fans like to think that this team is going to be better. Like how many times? Show of hands. How many times in the last week have you heard a Bulls fan say, but we're only 2 games out the 5th seed, while we were 1.5 games out of falling out of the play-in completely? We got to stop making excuses and just realize where the hell this team is. If it wasn't for the Philadelphia 76ers' inability to win a basketball game, we wouldn't even be talking about us being in the play-in tournament right now. We would not. It's frustrating. It's disgusting. It's silly. That's what this franchise is. It's silly. I don't give a damn what good Billy Donovan does for the rest of these games this season. He has to go. Unfortunately, I don't see the front office moving on from him. Pelicans and Wizards can't even tank if they try. That is hilarious. Can we agree Lonzo is the difference maker? Honestly, seems like Lonzo, you could tell Lonzo's feeling it. Lonzo is there's no issues with Lonzo, the basketball player, at all. I wouldn't call it embarrassing fashion, but yeah, they went cold in the second half. Also, you wouldn't call it embarrassing fashion? You lose to a team with 8 wins on the year. You had the lead for the majority of the game against that team. That's not embarrassing? I don't know what's embarrassing then at that point. And you lose this game by 6 points. You had the lead for the majority of this game. And you allow them to get hot on you and for you to respond like a bunch of punks. That's not embarrassing? Explain to me how in the hell do you have Nikola Vucevic cooking in the first half, but but yet you don't even elect to go to him in the second half? What's the first half versus second half splits for Vooch? First half, Vooch had 16 points. He was 7 of 11 with 9 rebounds. Second half of this game, Nikola Vucevic, 6 points, 3 of 5, 6. God fucking damn. Controlled the game all offensively for third quarters and completely fell apart and went away from Vooch. The downfall of Patrick Williams, when was he up? When was he up? Maybe I'm confused. Where was he up? The Pelicans could be a damn good team if they ever get fully. Oh, facts. That's 100% facts. Facts. And they got to clear out some of that imbalance on the roster. Haize, a really flat performance tonight, but the Pels came to play considering that they went toe-to-toe against us. The defending champs the night before. Bulls going cold in the fourth really plagued them. That's a fact. 100% fact there, brother. Why do this team play so effing stupid? Hey, man, listen. I don't know, bro. And Vooch is the only, like, sometimes y'all got vendettas, and I don't understand why you got vendettas against players. I really don't understand that. Vooch? F Vooch today? Giddy took over for Zach after the half. That is hilarious. The Pelicans haven't been healthy all this year. That's a fact. They haven't been healthy all this year. You're 100% fact. I'll put basketball aside a little. Where's Lily going with it? Where's Lily going? Zach about to interview and say, at least I got my points. I don't think that Zach's going to say that. I don't even think that that's Zach's mindset at this point, to be honest with you. Haize, check your. Oh, no, I saw it, bro. I saw it. I meant to respond, but then literally, as I saw it and I was about to respond to you, the Pelicans started on a run, and I completely forgot to respond to you. My bad, Brody. My bad. Vooch is the perfect center for when he's cooking and defense is focused on him. He can make an assist. Billy does not know how to create a system on the fly that enhances his players' advantages. You're absolutely right, Joe. We've been seeing this from Billy Donovan for the last 5 years. 5 years of Billy Donovan. 5 years of Billy Donovan. That's what this is crazy, bro. This is really what this team is subjecting us to. It's 5 years of Billy Donovan. Just utterly disgusting. Utterly disgusting. Crazy thing is, I knew this was going to happen. To why I said halftime, I had a bad feeling about this until Acme gets their heads out of their butts and sees this is not working. Well, they know it's not working. They said it. He said it at media day before the season started going. We know this is not the final roster. We're trying to see how many of these guys are going to be on the final roster. So AK knew coming into this roster wasn't it. But yet, here we go. Here we go. I'm sorry to say this, but P. Will is officially crap. I guess the good about losing is retaining that pick. Horrible owners, organizational management, coach, just freaking tank for Cooper. We're not gonna. We're far too gone for that. And so, and the either way that the Bulls are basically too far gone to guarantee they can keep their pick. It's gonna take some luck. It's gonna take some luck. It's gonna take a lot of luck. It's crazy on how the last minute the Bulls suddenly want to play defense when they were just picking their nose all game, doing nothing, letting Murphy drop 32 on us. And you know what? That is honestly, Staxy, great point. That is something that is really frustrating about this team, mainly because we've seen this team lock in defensively. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that this team is all of a sudden turns into some lockdown team. They don't, right? They don't do that. But we've seen enough from this team in certain games to where they play well enough defensively to where they should be better than what they are. Now, of course, things like turnovers that put you in a bad position, all those type of things are 100% true, right? I want to make it clear on that. But just overall, still though, this team it can be a better defensive team than what we've seen. Now, I gotta say this. It's still bad coaching game from Billy Donovan, but you guys know I am objective. I try to be objective. The fact that Billy Donovan we saw Billy Donovan do two different lineups that he didn't do it, that he doesn't really do. We saw the double big lineup where he actually tried to combat what the Pelicans were doing with having Jalen Smith and Vooch out there together. Really wasn't effective. I think by that point in time, the Pelicans had the momentum. But then we also saw a lineup of Montes Bucilis, Patrick Williams, and Jalen Smith out there as well. We haven't really seen much of that lineup either at all. Now, I'm going to go look to see how effective those lineups were because I know they weren't because the team was going on a run. And the thing that sucks about all this is that when that happens, right? And the thing that this is just a thing that plagues Billy Donovan. When Billy Donovan tries something new and it doesn't work, you will not see it again anytime soon. And it's unfortunate, right? Because how do you expect a team to find a rhythm if you don't go to those lineups more often? So, for example, today, Modest Vucevic and Patrick Williams played 4 minutes and 36 seconds together today, so not even 5 minutes. In that time, the Bulls went -11. They had a net rating of -100. They had an offensive rating of 54 and a defensive rating of 154.5. Keep in mind, defensive rating, the higher numbers worse. Billy Donovan isn't going to Modest Vucevic and Patrick Williams being out there together anytime soon. I can tell you that right now. So for anybody who's been hoping to see more of that lineup, you're not going to see it. Now, let's flip that and look at the lineup with Jalen Smith and Nikola Vucevic out there together. They only played 1 minute and 14 seconds together. They were -5 with a net rating of -250, a 0 offensive rating, and a defensive rating of 250. We're not going to see that a lot anymore either. Just go ahead and write that home. For anybody who's been wanting to see the double big lineups, you're not going to see it anymore. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see Patrick Williams and Modest out there anymore together. You're not going to see Jalen Smith and Nikola Vucevic out there together for a while. It's going to be a while before Billy Donovan even attempts to try to use that again because he's not. Billy Donovan isn't situationally aware enough to understand when he and the lineups causes some problems for the Bulls. Rather than let's keep trying this, let's build up some momentum, and maybe I can find a way to use this lineup at a better time. He's not that situationally aware. So Billy Donovan's literally going to look at this and say, well, we allowed a big run when Modest and Patrick Williams are out there. It's not going to work. He won't try it again for about 5 or 6 games. And I'm not saying that that's right. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that that's the right choice. I'm just saying that I know enough about Billy Donovan. I've seen enough from Billy Donovan over the years that I know that he's not going to go back to that lineup for a while. He just won't. No, they never give me faith. I just appreciate when they overperform. Hey, I feel that. For literally 4 to 5 possessions in the fourth, Vooch had 6'4" Javonte Green guarding him, and they never got him the effing ball. Either they not smart basketball players or Billy Donovan need to go. Both can be true. But we're terrible at entry passes. We've been terrible at entry passes again for years at this point. You know that saying, a win is a win? Well, my Bulls fandom has come down to a game is a game. That's crazy. That's crazy, but I feel it, bro. It sucks. We got Easy Cooks in the building. Drop Billy. He's failing this team. You have failed this city. Shout out if you know where that's from. But unfortunately, we're also too good to be one of the bottom feeders for that good pick. So I don't know. Because the reality is the lowest we'll drop is 11th, maybe 12th, but we'll probably stay at 10th. Yeah, I mean, let's hope that we can stay at 10th, right? As far as after the draft lottery. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, we have the 9th best odds at the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, 9th best odds overall coming into the day. We'll see how it is after the day. I just want Philadelphia to start winning. I really just want Philadelphia to start winning. Let's just put ourselves out of the misery. Really throw in a 2-man big lineup and didn't even try to post up. That's what I'm saying. He will never look at what he did wrong in coaching to get us there. So it's just unfortunate when it comes down to that. All right, so I got time today because I'm already pissed off because the Bulls lost. First off, Edwin, let's talk about how ineffective your mother is at sucking dick, right? Let's just talk about that. Your mother's so ineffective at it that your daddy literally looked at her and kicked her out the house because she kept sitting there, putting it in the back of her jaw, sitting it on her bicuspids, right? That's what led to you being here. You are a result of your mama not knowing how to suck cock correctly. Let's just get to that first and foremost. So let's get to that, Edwin. Secondly, Edwin Rios, why are you sitting here talking about what's effective or not when you should be going making some plantains, bitch? Why are you doing that? Get your life together. Get it together before I get it together for you. How about that, Edwin? Don't play with me, bro. Don't forget where you at. Do not forget where you're at. Because the one thing that I will be effective of is giving your mama back shots, all right? And now I'm your stepdaddy. You call me the pod father. Get your life together, Edwin. Don't try me today. Do not try me today, Edwin. Man, it would be nice to see Caruso and Lonzo back getting these mugs to play D. I mean, Alex Caruso, if you had, and we never got to see Andre Drummond and Lonzo either. Could you imagine what Lonzo would do on a fast break with Andre Drummond with his lobs? Like, imagine us having Lonzo, Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond. Right? Because, I mean, technically they were all still on the roster at the same time. Lonzo just wasn't healthy. Imagine that, what that would have looked like. It would have been bad, y'all. I mean, for other teams, but, you know, it is what it is. With our half world mindset, we never even get to be excited about a top 3 pick either. We got to watch these teams pick before us year in and year out. Insult to injury, I swear. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Haize, I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the chat, but I do know that if Josh is having a bad game along with P. Will, you have to take both of their asses out. Well, that's easier said than done, though. Like, it is easy to say, hey, you're having a bad game, sit. But, like, let's not act like the players that we have coming off the bench for them are necessarily the most consistent either, right? Haize, you are double damning the Bulls for the next 6 years. Even though you're looking at the baby bull syndrome long term, you won't be happy. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Please tell me what the fuck you are talking about. Come on, tell me what you're talking about. Explain that to me. Because right now, you're not making a lick of fucking sense. I'm happy I was at work and couldn't watch the fourth quarter of this game. Honestly, this is a fireable offense to lose. Listen, it's been so many fireable offenses by Billy Donovan over the years that I don't like. The dude's unfireable. Like, the issue is, just like the Kings game, we're dominating in the majority of the entire first half, but yet it was super close at the quarter time and halftime. We don't capitalize on our runs defensively. Yeah, and that's why a better defense would really help this team quite considerably. It really would. It really would. Deanna, Bull should have paid Javonte Green instead of P. Will. That's crazy. AK looked at the deadline and said, continuity. You know, it is what it is when it comes down to that. Why they kept on rushing and not executing plays? Duh, what the heck is this Bulls team? Well, I mean, part of the offense that we have is that we don't run half court plays. Like, and I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that is part of the issue here, right? Is that we do not run half court sets consistently. We just don't. And it's unfortunate. They just had to push. This guy just had to push. Listen, I'll be trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. I really do. But then you just have to get cooked. Like, it just is what it is. Sucks that Zoe's still on minutes restriction because when Jose went on that run, they couldn't put Zoe in to keep him to end the game. And this is where, like, having Io would have definitely helped, right? I think with the rhythm that Lonzo has got himself into, if you're able to keep one of Io or Lonzo in there when you have some perimeter players going on runs, that definitely helps this team. It definitely helps the team. And so you really need to get Io back healthy as soon as possible. Roster's too inflated with redundant shooting guard, small forward position. If Dalen got consistent run, 20 to 22 minutes, folks might finally stop clamoring for Caruso. He understands his roles just need. Well, let's be clear. Dalen Terry's not the on-ball defender that Alex Caruso is. He's just not yet. Now, in support of what you're saying, Sean, if he gets those minutes, could he develop into that, right? That's a fair statement to ask for. I'm just saying that as of right now, I think if you think that you're just going to turn on a Dalen minutes and he's going to play like Caruso, that may be a little bit harder to come across, but no, we'll see. We'll see. THT old man looking ass need to go. How did THT start catching strays? It seems like time go fast when the Bulls losing, but it goes slow when the Bulls win. Not to me. Not to me. Billy's not worried about losing his job. The only thing Billy thinks about is the next bubblegum he's going to be beating on next game. That's why you got to be beating it. That's crazy. Big Diesel, I think I may have asked you this question before, but if the Bulls could keep their pick, do you trust Acme to draft right, and do you trust Billy to develop that player? Now, you've asked this before. I don't trust Billy to develop anything, but I do trust our player development department to develop them. As far as AK, here's the thing. I think in this draft, it's hard to miss completely, meaning that, yes, you can get a player where players after them are better, end up being better than them. But this is a draft with a lot of talent. And I think that if you're in the top 10, you have a really good chance of that player at least being good, right? I think that's the level that this draft is at personally. Well, the Bulls are successful again. The city of Chicago is going to go insane. Stay safe, because after all this frustration and anger pent up after a foundation of historical success, it'll get crazy. Hey, I mean, definitely a possibility there. Definitely a possibility there. Sucks that Lonzo's out tomorrow night. His defense and intensity is a major energy boost for the squad. I agree. I do agree. And the fact that we already know he's not going to be playing tomorrow as well, right? Oh, man. All right, y'all. It's really unfortunate that the Chicago Bulls once again just disappoint. It's really unfortunate. And we just got to see. Gino, I didn't even see your question, bro. What's the question, man? You goddamn crybaby. No, I'm just playing. What's the question, though? I was about to start wrapping up, but you got to get that question in there. I'll answer. Just get the question in there. Hurry up. Hurry up. Because I ain't scrolling back because I'm old. Not doing it. Oh, here it goes. Before you go, what do you think the Bulls will do realistically at the trade deadline? Will it be a significant move or a small one or not? I've said it multiple times. As of right now, I don't expect the Bulls to do anything. This is my personal opinion. I do not expect the Bulls to do anything significant at the trade deadline. If they do make a move, I could see it being like a Torrey Craig type move, something like that. But I don't think they really do much at the trade deadline, in my personal opinion. But we'll be back out here doing this again tomorrow. We got the Atlanta Hawks. The Bulls usually play pretty well against the Atlanta Hawks. So let's hope we can get that dub when it comes down to it, man. But appreciate you guys, man. Make sure you guys are following us at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullsCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.